Hello, everyone. They said you couldn't, so you did twice as hard. There's a certain silence that comes after people laugh at your dreams, a silence filled with doubt, judgment, and whispers behind your back. They didn't see the vision, they didn't feel the passion, they didn't believe in you, and maybe, just maybe, that's the greatest gift they ever gave you, because when the world doubts you, you have two choices: shrink down and prove them right, or stand tall and believe in yourself even harder. History is filled with people who were underestimated, people told they weren't good enough, smart enough, talented enough. Think of Albert Einstein, who was told he'd never amount to anything; Oprah Winfrey, who was fired for not being fit for television; Michael Jordan, cut from his high school basketball team. What did they all have in common? They didn't just bounce back, they believed in themselves with a force so powerful it drowned out the voices of doubt around them. You see, belief isn't something you wait for others to give you, it's something you build brick by brick, day by day. Through every setback, every failure, every time someone says you can't, you whisper back, "Watch me." Their disbelief is not your weakness, it's your weapon. Let's be honest, being doubted hurts. It's lonely, it's frustrating. You question yourself. You wonder if maybe they're right, but in that moment you're standing at a crossroads. One path leads to giving up, the other to greatness. And that second path demands belief, twice as strong as their doubt, twice as unshakable, twice as loud in your heart. Believing twice as hard means waking up early when no one is watching. It means practicing, learning, and grinding in the dark so you can shine in the light. It means turning every no into fuel for your yes. It means proving not just to them but to yourself that you are always enough. Because the truth is, the only belief you really need is your own. And when you start believing twice as hard, something powerful happens. You stop seeking validation and start chasing vision. You stop waiting for permission and start creating your own path. You stop being affected by their voices and start listening to your own. This is your journey, your dream, your fire. They may not see it now, they may not understand it, but one day they'll look back and realize the person they once doubted became the person they now admire. So let them doubt, let them laugh, let them walk away. You just believe twice as hard and build anyway. Let's talk about rejection. Let's talk about what it feels like when someone looks you in the eye and tells you you're not good enough, or when they laugh under their breath because you dared to dream bigger than they ever imagined. The sting of doubt doesn't just sit on your skin, it seeps into your spirit. It makes you question who you are and whether you're even worthy of chasing the life you see in your heart. But here's the truth: rejection isn't the end, it's the beginning. When someone tells you that you can't do something, they're not defining your limits, they're revealing theirs. When they say your goals are too big, what they're really saying is that their vision is too small. And when they doubt you, they're handing you an invisible weight. That weight, it's made of every no, every judgment, every dismissal, and it's up to you what you do with it. Some people let that weight crush them. They carry it until their back breaks and their will fades. But the ones who rise, they don't let the weight destroy them. They use it to grow stronger. They turn rejection into resistance training. Every doubt becomes a rep. Every insult becomes fuel. Every failure becomes a lesson. The weight of doubt is heavy, but it builds champions. Think about the stories you know. J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers before someone believed in Harry Potter. Steve Jobs was fired from his own company before coming back to lead Apple into history. Beyoncé lost on Star Search. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination. What did they all do with their rejection? They didn't just keep going, they transformed the doubt into drive. They believed harder. They worked smarter. They pushed further. Why? Because rejection is not the same as defeat. Rejection is direction. Sometimes life closes one door so you'll kick open another. Sometimes someone says no, so that you can build the strength to say yes to yourself. Here's the shift. Instead of running from rejection, start welcoming it. Start thanking it. Start using it. When someone says you'll never make it, smile to yourself and say, "Thank you for the motivation." When you get overlooked, say, "That's okay, I'm still building." When you fall short, tell yourself, "This is not where my story ends." Motivation born from rejection has a different kind of power. It's not shallow, it's not temporary. It's rooted deep in the desire to grow, to prove, to evolve, not just for others, but for yourself. It builds a fire that no one can put out. It makes you more focused, more disciplined, more committed. While others are waiting for applause, you're grinding in silence. While they rest in comfort, you train through the pain. While they doubt you, you're leveling up. And one day that same rejection becomes your revenge, not through bitterness, but through brilliance. Not by tearing them down, but by rising so high they have no choice but to look up. But here's the most important part. Your motivation must come from within, because eventually the world's voices fade. The only voice that stays with you forever is your own. So make it powerful, make it kind, make it relentless. Speak to yourself with belief, even when no one else will, especially when no one else will. Use rejection as a reminder, not of what you're missing, but of what you're made for. Use it to sharpen your focus, to amplify your energy, to commit even harder to your dream. Because if they didn't believe in you, that's their loss. But if you don't believe in you, that's your responsibility. So let the weight of their doubt sit heavy in your hands, then lift it, carry it, use it, let it build you, not break you. Let it teach you to rise, again and again, because you don't just survive rejection, you grow because of it. And one day when the world watches what you've built, what you've become, and what you've overcome, they'll realize the weight they tried to use to bury you was the same weight you used to become unstoppable. Sometimes the loudest power doesn't come from shouting, it comes from silence. The kind of silence where you quietly build, quietly grind, and quietly transform your life while the world watches, or doesn't. Because when people doubt you, the most powerful response isn't an argument, it's action. Too many people waste their energy trying to convince others to believe in them. They explain their dreams, defend their ambitions, and try to justify their path. But here's the truth, you don't owe anyone an explanation for your vision. You don't have to prove your worth through words. Let your results be your response. You don't have to scream to be heard. You don't have to post every step of your journey to prove you're making progress. In fact, the most legendary transformations happen in the dark, away from the spotlight, the noise, and the judgment. It's in the early mornings, the late nights, the quiet discipline, and the unseen effort that greatness is built. Silence is your superpower, because when no one sees the work, no one expects the result, and that's when you strike. That's when you show them, not with words, not with promises, but with outcomes that can't be denied. Think about a seed. When you plant it, nothing happens, at least on the surface. Days go by, weeks, maybe months. No one sees the roots taking hold beneath the soil. No one notices the quiet strength being built underground. But when it finally breaks through, it grows strong, unshakable, and undeniable. That's what building in silence looks like. You are that seed. Every time you train without applause, you grow. Every time you study when no one's watching, you sharpen. Every time you fall, then rise again, quietly, steadily, with no one to clap, you evolve. The world may laugh at you today. They may ignore your effort, but one day they'll wonder how you did it. And the answer will be simple. I was working while you were watching. Let them underestimate you. Let them assume you're not going anywhere. All that's fine, because by the time they realize how far you've come, it'll be too late to stop you. Your results will speak for you. Your progress will silence every critic. Your growth will say everything your words never had to. And let's be clear, this doesn't mean you stay small. It means you stay focused. It means you don't seek attention. You seek improvement. Because in the long run, it's not the loudest who win, it's the most consistent, the ones who show up day after day, putting in the work, with or without recognition. When you build in silence, your foundation becomes unshakable. You learn to depend on your own belief, not the crowd's validation. You become rooted in discipline, not distracted by noise. You're not chasing applause, you're chasing growth. There's something incredibly powerful about watching someone go from overlooked to unstoppable. And that transformation happens not because they shouted loud, but because they worked harder when no one was watching. You don't have to clap back. You don't have to argue. You don't have to prove your dream to anyone who can't see it. The moment you stop begging others to believe in you is the moment you truly start believing in yourself. Let the scoreboard talk. Let the success speak. Let the work show. Build so silently, so consistently, that your results become a roar that echoes louder than any doubt, any criticism, any rejection ever could. The next time someone doubts you, don't fight back with anger, fight back with excellence. Don't respond with frustration, respond with progress, because one day the same people who questioned your path will be asking how you did it, and you'll smile, not with arrogance, but with peace, because you'll know the truth. You didn't need to yell, you didn't need to beg, you just needed to believe, twice as hard, and build in silence. When the world doubts you, the only thing that can carry you forward is your own belief, not borrowed belief, not temporary confidence, but a deep, unshakable, relentless faith in yourself, no matter how loud the noise gets, no matter how heavy the silence becomes, and no matter how often they tell you, you're not enough. Here's the truth, most people won't tell you. If they don't believe in you, that's fine. But if you stop believing in yourself, that's the real tragedy, because external doubt can only defeat you if it becomes internal. That's why you have to believe twice as hard when they mock you, twice as hard when they turn their backs, twice as hard when no one shows up to support you, because your dream isn't dependent on their validation, it's dependent on your conviction. Belief isn't just a thought, it's a force, it's the fire that keeps you going when everything around you says quit. It's the voice inside that says, I've got this, even when everything outside says, you don't. That's what turns vision into reality, fear into fuel, and pressure into purpose. And here's the powerful part. Belief is a skill. It's not just something you're born with. It's something you build, brick by brick, through every test, every failure, every moment of doubt. You have the chance to strengthen your belief. How? You build belief by keeping promises to yourself. You build belief by doing what you said you would do, especially when no one's watching. You build belief by showing up again and again, even when progress feels invisible. You build belief by choosing discipline over comfort and action over excuses. And every time you do, you're telling yourself, I am capable, I am worthy, I am enough. The problem is, we've been conditioned to wait for others to validate us. We wait for the approval, the applause, the recognition, but real belief doesn't wait. It leads, it moves, it acts with confidence, even in uncertainty. Think about every person who changed the world. They weren't surrounded by cheerleaders in the beginning. They were doubted, misunderstood, laughed at, but what made them unstoppable was their unbreakable belief in themselves, a belief so powerful, it didn't matter who didn't believe. And let's be clear, belief doesn't mean you'll never have fear. It means you move forward, despite it. It means you trust yourself enough to take the leap, to write the book, to start the business, to speak your truth, to chase your dream, even if you're the only one who sees it. You must believe in your dream so deeply that it becomes your identity. It's not something you do. It's who you are. The world may not see the vision yet, but that's okay. They're not supposed to. It was given to you, not them. So protect your belief, guard it from negativity, feed it with discipline, fuel it with growth, surround it with people who lift you higher, not those who pull you back. And when you're alone, be your own biggest supporter, be your own hero, be your own reason to keep going. Because here's the truth, you become what you believe. If you believe you're stuck, you'll stay stuck. But if you believe you're powerful, unstoppable, and capable of more, nothing can stand in your way. Believing twice as hard means you bet on yourself when no one else will. It means you don't just hope, you know your worth, you know your work matters, you know you are not here by accident, you were built for something greater. They may not clap for you, that's fine. They may not support you, that's okay. They may never say I was wrong, and you don't need them to, because one day your belief will take you places their doubt never could. So stand tall, breathe deep, lock in your vision, and whisper to yourself, no matter what, I believe twice as hard, and that's enough to carry me through. At the end of the day, it's not your words, your intentions, or even your dreams that will silence doubt. It's your progress, your consistent, undeniable, visible growth. That's what will speak when no one else will. That's what will tell the world who you are, what you're capable of, and how far you've come. Even if no one believed in you at the start, people can argue with your opinions, they can dismiss your ideas, but they cannot argue with your results. Let them doubt you, let them question you, let them say, you won't make it. You don't need to fight back, you don't need to prove them wrong, through anger or revenge. You just need to keep moving forward, inch by inch, step by step, because every ounce of progress you make builds something louder than any shout could ever be proof. Your progress is your power. When they said you couldn't, and you kept building. When they said you didn't have it in you, and you kept going. When they ignored you, and you stayed focused. You were doing more than working, you were proving, and not just proving it to them, you were proving it to yourself. And that's what matters most, because this journey, this mission, this purpose, it's not about showing them, it's about growing you. Progress doesn't have to be massive, it just has to be real. One extra hour studying, one more rep in the gym, one more post, one more step, one more act of courage, day after day. That's how progress compounds. That's how momentum is built. That's how average becomes excellent. You don't need overnight success. You need unshakable consistency, because eventually, the gap between who you were and who you're becoming becomes impossible to ignore. Even the people who once doubted you won't be able to deny the transformation, but don't expect applause, don't expect praise. Progress is often invisible. In the beginning, people don't notice your late nights, they don't see your sacrifices, they don't count the times you showed up when you didn't feel like it, but you do, and that's enough. Keep track of your own growth, celebrate your own wins, compare yourself only to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. Because this is your journey, and progress looks different for everyone. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to be better than you were. That's it. Growth over guilt, effort over ego, progress over perfection. There will be setbacks. There will be days you feel like nothing is changing. But on those days, remind yourself, growth happens in silence before it shows in public. Trees take root before they bloom. Muscles tear before they build. Progress always comes after pressure. And when it does, when the results start to show, when the dream you kept alive in secret starts to rise in the light, you won't need to say anything. Your progress will speak louder than any critic ever could. Your journey will inspire those who once ignored you. Your discipline will be admired by those who never believed in you. Your transformation will become a testimony, not because you wanted revenge, but because you stayed true to the vision, true to yourself. So keep going. Let them talk while you build. Let them question while you answer with work. Let them watch while you rise, because you don't have to prove them wrong. You just have to prove yourself right, through action, through progress, through the journey only you could walk. Remember this, progress doesn't need permission, it just needs commitment. You don't need their belief, you just need your steps, your growth, your journey. And if you keep showing up, if you keep moving forward, if you keep believing twice as hard, one day, your journey will speak for itself, and the world will finally hear you, without you ever saying a word. Thank you.